This is Dr. Paul Firnhaber here at Lincoln Disc Nutrition, and it's time for 10 Minutes of Truth. That means it's Wednesday, and that's what we're going to do today. So I have another article for you, another scientific article. This is out of the Brazilian Journal of Clinical Medicine and Review. It's produced quarterly. This is the July-September issue 2024. And the name of the article is The Acute Effect of Vertebral Manipulation Techniques on the Autonomic Nervous System. So the aim of the study was to assess the immediate effects of a chiropractic adjustment on the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems by analyzing heart rate variability in university students. So this is a very, very interesting study. And what they did was they took 20 students and they divided them up. Group 1, 10 students received chiropractic care, the spinal manipulation. Group 2, they just positioned them but did not adjust them. Now, they used a couple of different measures in this study to look at the effects of what they did. They used heart rate variability, which is a measurement of the autonomic nervous system function. So heart rate variability is the amount of time in hundredths of a second between heartbeats. It's not looking at an irregular heartbeat, but it's looking at a normal heartbeat. But the more variability you have in time between the heartbeats, the greater your body's ability to respond to stress and the healthier your autonomic nervous system is. So somebody with a high heart rate variability is healthier than someone with a low heart rate variability. So they looked at the two groups. They went ahead and adjusted the groups. And they found out some very, very interesting things. First of all, they found out that both groups had an increase in heart rate variability. And both groups increased their range of motion. Now, the spinal manipulation group led to much more significant improvement in pain, mobility, and functional capacity. However, the group that wasn't manipulated, that didn't receive chiropractic care, also increased in heart rate variability and in range of motion. And they said in the article, it is believed that the touch on the patient influences the autonomic nervous system, modifying levels of cortisol and oxytocin, altering the biopsychosocial environment, and thus stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic nervous system is a part of the nervous system that relaxes the body. That when you think of the parasympathetic nervous system, you think of sex, rest, and digest. So it's a part that digests food. It's a part that operates when you're resting and you're relaxed. And it's much different from the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight, which is the part of the nervous system that's involved when you're under stress or you're angry or any stressful situation. So they said positioning the patient, even without spinal manipulation, was statistically significant, as there was an increase in parasympathetic and decrease in sympathetic activity. Now, one of the things that they said in the article that I thought was pretty interesting is that the sympathetic nervous system, that part of the autonomic nervous system, is very diffuse. In other words, it affects many, many bodily functions. So when you're under stress, lots of things happen in the body. And, one of those things is your cortisol levels go up, and you have your adrenaline levels go up, and that can produce cardiovascular disease, which is one of the leading causes of death worldwide. The sympathetic or the parasympathetic nervous system is not as widespread. It tends to have an action on one organ or a part of the body. It's not as widespread diffuse. And so when the parasympathetic nervous system dominates over the sympathetic nervous system, you have multiple organs that are affected that just work better. So this study showed that, number one, chiropractic care is effective on increasing heart rate variability and increasing range of motion and increasing just the level of health in an individual. But it also showed that just touching a patient, just positioning them to get adjusted, is also quite helpful and also does improve some of those responses. So as I was reading the article, I thought, well, this is one of the reasons people enjoy getting massage so much, massage therapy, because it's touched by another human being, and that can actually relax the sympathetic nervous system and produce a parasympathetic response as well. So the article is very interesting. It's just another article out of many that I've covered that show that chiropractic care is effective for modulating and increasing human health. And that's what we do in our office every day here at Lincoln Disc and Nutrition. So if you're interested in contacting us and finding out about the things that we do, our functional medicine and our chiropractic, our number is 402-488-2220. We'd love to hear from you. And next week, I'll have some more, another article, or we'll continue in the book that I was talking about last week and have another 10 minutes of truth. So I will see you then.